The reason why I bring up the CFL is because their championship game was this past Sunday, the Grey Cup, and it was looking like that. It was the Toronto Argonauts versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Blue Bombers have won the last two Grey Cups, and so it was looking that like maybe a dynasty was being formed here for the Blue Bombers, but not to be. This game was something else here, Mr. Vernon, because especially the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter, I had not seen one blocked field goal, two blocked field goals in this game. At the timing that it came in on this one as well. I mean, the Argonauts were able to beat the Blue Bombers 24-23. This was a really fun game, and I think a good showcase for the CFL. And I don't know if you were able to catch the game there, Mr. Vernon, but just your thoughts on the CFL itself and any thoughts of the Grey Cup if you've seen it.
Well, I've long held the belief that the CFL is an extremely fun league. And I think that, more Americans, anybody that's not from Canada that is able to tune in, they'd be able to watch good football. I think the CFL, pound for pound, is one of the better sports to watch in North America. Just the way it plays is really fun. It's very exciting. And I think the Grey Cup matchup here kind of showcased that. And, if there was a game that people might be tuning into from the States, the Grey Cup might be that game. I can't really think of any other matchup in the CFL schedule that, somebody from, Idaho might like check out and tune into. But I'm super happy that this was the game that was so exciting. Like you said, there the final few minutes just a completely ridiculous kind of storybook ending there.
Unreal.
And I'm hopeful that at least some people might have been able to tune in and be converted to CFL fans. I was able to make it to a couple Red Blacks games this year, and like you said, it's a fun experience.
Yes, it's a very fun experience. It really is.
It's a fun experience. They might not be great games, but it's a fun experience.
Yeah, then they hit the field, and it's like totally different.
But that's I think the thing about CFL is like, I'm from Ottawa. I'm from the Ottawa area. I have a hometown team that I can cheer for. Saskatchewan's got a team. Obviously, like Rough Riders fans are huge, like worldwide. Like BC's got a team, Edmonton's got a team. They don't really have football connections otherwise, and so it's really awesome for these communities in Canada to have a chance to have a team and to support a team.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because it's like I think special teams in the CFL is way more important in this league than it is in the NFL. Way more important. And we saw that obviously in the game, in the Grey Cup game with all those blocked field goals. But, there's actual points attached. There's strategy involved with the special teams. So it's not like you just kind of see the special teams like, all right, I'm going to go up, grab a snack, and we'll see where the ball lands, and I'll just be right back into it. No, there's actually some strategy to it. And I think when you mention that to some people, they kind of see that as like, wow, you're really trying to sell me on the league through special teams, just based on the reputation that the NFL has kind of established for special teams. But there's that. I mean, I want to get your thoughts on this because this has been talked about for so long when it comes to the CFL. But what do you make of the 3 downs, the lawn fields, that sort of deal? Because I know that there's been conversation of making it 4-down league, shortening up the field, putting the posts back on the back of the end zone as opposed to in the middle. Your thoughts on that? Do you because the CFL has kind of explored it before to try and kind of help them survive, for lack of a better term, in the last couple of years with COVID. Do you think that if it just kind of takes away the Canadian identity of the league if they make it a 4-down league with a shorter field, or do you not mind that at all?
I think it does. And the problem I have with it is that I think part of the reason the CFL to me is so exciting is, it's more hectic. There's more risk being taken. You're not running for 2 yards every single first down. You're seeing such a wide variety of plays because they have to get creative. You can't just run a halfback dive, or you can't just run inside zone without setting it up. Like, you can't just expect a bruiser to go up the middle for 10 yards because they only have 2 tries at it, right? Like, there is more creativity, the bigger field, but the wider field too, there's a little bit more like creative, playmakers have a chance to shine. I really think they do. Look at Deontay Spencer when he was with the Red Blacks, is absolutely electric. And then he goes to the NFL, and he had a chance to show it off in the return game with the Broncos and that. And it's guys like those that have the shiftiness and the explosiveness and the creativity to really take chances. In the CFL, there's a huge opportunity for it, and so I think making it a carbon copy of the NFL might water down the product a little bit, and I think the CFL would lose its identity and would lose what makes it special. And quite frankly, I don't think it would do as well because at that point, it's just you know a worse NFL.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And there's some good players in there too. And if you're like a college football guy, there's some college football players that are continuing their careers and into the CFL. I mean, just to use the Ottawa Red Blacks example, Jeremiah Masoli, a former Oregon Duck, continuing his career in the CFL, and obviously he had that brutal tackle from Garrett Marino earlier that year, and I could not believe he stayed in the league a couple more games after that. But nonetheless, I mean, there's a lot to be excited for in the CFL, and it does bring some interesting plays. You could make the argument, we see RPO offenses a lot now in the NFL and obviously college football, but a lot of the RPO stuff comes from the CFL. There were some RPO options in the CFL, so it's an innovative league. I want to see it continue to succeed. I think there is an argument, there's been talk about whether, the bigger television presenters, I'll keep them nameless, in terms of their presentation of the CFL, are they pushing it enough, or are they just kind of taking in the NFL because they know it's the more popular league and pushing it more? I think it's just kind of comes down to, like, I think the CFL's got to market themselves a little bit better. And sometimes it's that one game that everybody kind of tunes in and goes, oh, this could be something. And so it's an alternative. It's been around for longer than the NFL, and it's got a whole bunch of history behind it. So some good players have gone through. I hope more people kind of take notice of the CFL in the years to come. But it's looking, we let's just call it how it is. It's been looking rough the last couple of years, and I know Randy Ambrosie, the commissioner, has been trying to expand out and do a lot more international talent exchanges as well. But at this point now, you got to get the product out there and get more eyeballs on it. And I think betting has certainly helped with that as well, getting betting bettors involved with it as well. But hopefully to continue to kind of grow the game, because it is a fun league. It is a really fun league to watch. Any other thoughts on the CFL before we move on?
One thing you said kind of stood out with me. CFL draft.
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Have you ever watched the CFL draft?
I've not watched CFL draft, no.
I don't think anybody has.
No.
And like, you look at the NFL, and even when it's not games, it really is like such an event. Like the draft, free agency is a huge deal. And I think with the CFL, they're really just missing out. And obviously it's really going to be diehard fans that tune to the CFL draft, but it just really shows that I think there's such a lack of presenting themselves. And really, I couldn't even tell you when the CFL draft is. Like, I don't know very much about it, even though I like watching it. And I think they really kind of need to step their game when it comes to marketing and just to getting more people to pay attention to them.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things that the NFL has done well for the last couple of years as well. And there's a lot to criticize with the NFL on other aspects, but if there's one thing they are very good at, is being a very good marketing machine and making the NFL draft seem like a big event, when really all you're seeing is just these guys just be presented. You're seeing their names, and then that's really it. They're able to break it down, analyze it, how they'll fit in the offense or the defense or in the locker room or whatever, right? I think we need a little bit more of that, and I think that also kind of comes with kind of building up the university football scene, right? Because we've got the Canadian university football scene as well. That's can be fun to watch over here in Quinte, in the Quinte area. You got the different football leagues. So like Ottawa has the Sooners, obviously. Over here we have the Quinte Skyhawks. So it's just kind of propping those teams up as well, and kind of getting more eyeballs on them. And because there could be some fun football to be had. So just kind of building that up, building up the game. But yeah, it's Grey Cup this past Sunday. Go out and watch it if you haven't, and check out the CFL. Like, is it a perfect league? No, it's absolutely not a perfect league. But it's a fun football league, and you get to see some good players in there. And if you're coming from the college side or even from the NFL side. I mean, we saw Chad Kelly, Swag Kelly, in action during the Grey Cup. How about that? But nonetheless,